I'm humbled and I'm so grateful to be here today. Australia, one of my favorite countries in the world, and I'll tell you why I'm happy. You see, because I come from nothing, so I appreciate everything. You have no idea. You have no idea how humbled I feel when I actually experience the love that you give us. And it's all because of that 3 magic letters ACN. Isn't that amazing? You know, ACN allows me to come to this beautiful country. It's very far to get here, let me tell you that. But it's so worth it. How many of you agree? But I'm really happy. And you know, ACN allows me to live a life in abundance, and that's what Australia stands for me. AUSTRALIA. I'm undeniably sold out that residuals allow. I'm undeniably sold out. AUSTRALIA. That residuals allow life in abundance. So every day, as you're living in this country, in Australia, every day as you're living in ACN, learn to understand that ACN is a blessing, that you have no idea how blessed this company is. It was Shakespeare who once said this, that I used to cry when I had no shoes on my feet, and I stopped crying when I saw a man without a leg. Isn't that amazing? So I appreciate everything because I come from nothing, and it's an absolute privilege for me to be here, and an amazing work by the Australian leadership team who's arranged this. And I've come over here to tell you my story. Is that okay? I'm coming here today to give you, start a conversation with you. You know, I'm not here today to motivate you. I'm not a motivational speaker. But I'm here to inspire you to take your business to the next level. The only difference between you and I maybe is I have a few more years of experience. That's it. I'm the results of the books that I have read, the mentors that I've had, and I create nothing on my own. I'm just a reflection of the quality of people that are around me. So I'm going to talk to you as my friend. Is that okay? I'm going to talk to you as my friend. Is that okay? Yes. So if you're ready, can you say, I'm ready? Oh, let's get started already. Let me tell you my story. The day I was born, I'm born as an Indian man. The day I was born, my dad really stamped on me that you're going to be a Dell computer, which that means you're going to be a DELL, either a doctor, an engineer, a lawyer, or loser. So I graduated out of University of London, and let me tell you something, I was a very ordinary student, and I was not very good at studies. I hated studies, yes, because my mom used to say, you know, you need to go to study, you need to study, you need to study, you need to study. I said, Mom, the word study itself, split it into 2, it means student dying. For me, going to class simply meant CLASS, come late and start sleeping. Does this make sense? For me, when I went to mathematics, math simply meant mental abuse to human beings. But I was an obedient son. And I somehow or the other graduated, and I became what I am, an actual engineer. But when I look here, when I stand here today, because I sat at where you sat once, as I stand here today, I appreciate each and every one of you. Because the reason is each and every one of you, as I see, is when I look into your eyes, I see champions. How many of you agree? And I'll tell you why I see champions, because champions grow all the time. Champions grow physically, mentally, and they grow in their business as well. Each and every one of you are champions because you've come here to grow your business. What's most people doing right now? Sitting outside in the weekend, sitting in front of their tellies, and the only thing that they grow are their bellies. How many of you agree? But you are here to grow your business. That's why you're champions, because champions train, losers complain. Look to your neighbor on your left and right and say, champions train, losers complain. So the Spartan law says, champions train, losers complain. Says, he who sweats more in training bleeds less in war. So it's easy for me to speak to champions. It's easy for me to speak to eagles. It's easy for me to speak to lions because they're all champions. So that's what I'm going to speak to you. So my story should motivate you because I finished my education. What I start, I will finish. So I finished my education, and it was the happiest moment of my life, the day I graduated, because that meant no more studying, student dying, no more math, no more class, and I was so happy to have completed my education. But what I didn't realize is the other side of the education was all the debt that was piling on. I came out of university with over 40,000 pounds in debt. Before my first job, I was already in debt, and then after that, I went to my first job interview. I put down my degree certificate in front of them. They said, we can't give you a job. Why? Because I don't have what? Experience. I said, how am I going to get experience if I don't have a job? But anyway, I went back to my mom and my dad, and I said, you told me to get a degree. I did. I didn't get a job. They said, you need to work harder. So I worked harder. I found my first job. I realized that jobs are so difficult to find. Anyway, from one job, I got my job. Then I went back and said, what do I need to do next? They said, you need to get a better job. I got a better job. What do I need to do next? They said, you need to get a better job. Then I went back and got another better job, and said, what do I need? You need to get a better job. After all the jobs that I was doing, after working 60 hours a week, I didn't know what I was becoming. You see, some people understand this, that the salary that they pay you is the bribe that they give you to give up on your dreams. You see, the problem is some people think that they've got a great salary. Yes, I was in a very high paid salary, but what I didn't understand, what was I becoming in the process of getting salary? Because what happens on a Monday morning, this is how I look. But on Friday morning, this is how I looked. The Friday morning alarm. How many of you think, I hate the alarm clock? How many of you agree the alarm clock is an unholy thing? What was I becoming? And that is when I'm now realizing what Jack Ma, the richest Chinese man in the world, what he said was this: if you put bananas and if you put money in front of monkeys, the monkey will always choose the banana, because the monkey doesn't know that money can buy you bananas. I understood with all this monkeying around that I got into this amazing thing called the rat race, doing it over and over and over again. I understood that no matter how high you go up the rat race, you're still going to be a rat. How many of you agree? And I understood that I was following the path of the most unsuccessful people in the world, from the day that they were born to the day that they die. And when they die, the most expensive place in the world is the cemetery, because that is where ideas were not, put into place. That's where ideas weren't, little implemented. That's where you find books not written, songs not sung, simply because people were told to follow what everybody else does. Everybody else does. And I wanted to be somebody, because I understood that I have a purpose in my life. I'm not the byproduct of my dad and my mom having a good night one day. Does that make sense? I am here for a purpose. You know what? I'm here to make my parents proud. I'm here to make a difference. And so I started searching. Say searching. And I came across the book by Robert Kiyosaki, who said, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. But before I did that, why was I searching? Because I was frustrated. Say the word frustrated. Because this is the ring that she wanted. These were the rings that I wanted. But the only rings that I could afford were these. So I was frustrated because I was getting paid on a Monday, I was broke on a Friday. I was frustrated because I went into a restaurant and instead of looking at the left-hand side of the menu, I was looking at the right-hand side of the menu. And then I read the book called Rich Dad, Poor Dad. And he opened my eyes to what's called the cash flow quadrant, where he told me every person in the world is divided into four. Either they are employed, one of them, which means they exchange their time for money, they make a linear income. Or what happens is they are self-employed, again they exchange their time for money, and they don't have leverage. And what the problem is, they are also same thing, they're exchanging time for money. They have linear income. The problem with this side of the quadrant is this: you are one sickness away from being broke. You are one sickness away from being broke. If you have a job, you are going to be replaced by something faster, cheaper, prettier, or better. And then I looked at the two. So I had my employee role. So I had a white collar job. I had a self-employed role. I had a blue collar job myself. I had a sales role as well. So I went into that as well. Then I looked on the right-hand side of the quadrant. I found business owners make a lot of money. Okay, brilliant. So let me go and start a business. So I took all the savings that I had. I borrowed all the money that I had. And I started my own traditional business. Little did I know that a business is only successful if it works with or without you. And I lost a lot of money. Do you understand that? Then I thought, let's go into investors. So all the remaining money that I had, I invested, and then I understood it's better, you know what, you take a lottery ticket because it's so difficult nowadays. So, and one of the things that I understood though is that 95% of the wealth in the world is not on the left-hand side, because the left-hand side is where 95% of the population lives, but they only own 5% of the wealth. But you look on the right-hand side of the quadrant, there's only 5% of the population there, but they own 95% of the wealth. So I knew I wanted to be in the right quadrant, but I understood that I have to work smarter. So I looked at the biggest companies in the world that's there today. They all started as a home-based business. Isn't that amazing? They all started as a home-based business, but you know what they had? They had idea. The people who started it were clever, were smart. Now, I'm not like that. I haven't got an idea to start something, and I don't have that kind of guts. But I wanted to start a home-based business because I like to work from home. And then I started searching, and I came across this industry called network marketing. The industry that ignorant people don't realize that, you know, there is an industry out there that's bigger than Hollywood. There's an industry out there that's bigger than NFL. When I looked at the industry then, it was a $167 billion industry. Today is over $200 billion industry. Today they pay out $200 million every single day, and some foolish people will say network marketing doesn't work because they don't understand numbers. I looked at the industry and I saw network marketing is one of those industries that created the most amount of millionaires in the world. That's the industry that you're in, so remember that. And then I understood what the first billionaire in the world ever said. John Paul Getty. It's better that you make 1% on the efforts of 100 people than 100% of your own efforts. You see, when you listen to successful people, you become what? When you listen to broke people, you become what? So I wanted to be in the industry that created, one of the industries that created the most amount of millionaires in the world. I want to be in the industry where the first documented billionaire in the world told me about leverage. I was searching, and I came across a few companies out there, but all of those companies only sold products. I didn't like selling products to people, my own friends and family, but I was searching, and I was searching. Then a complete stranger introduced me to the three magic letters, ACN. What did I see? The world's largest direct seller of telecommunications, energy, and essential services on this planet. I was impressed. Say, I was impressed. Say, I am impressed. And I will be impressed. What did I see? Multi-trillion-dollar industry, the finance industry, the telecom industry, the energy industry, the insurance industry, the credit card processing industry, the health industry, the wellness industry. We are all in these industries, so we can select and choose where we want to make money from these industries. I was impressed. Then I looked over 25-year track record. The average network marketing company lasts for 10 years. They've been there for over 20 years, which means they've lasted 25 years. Nowadays, marriages don't last 25 years. Then I saw, where can I make money? In over 20 countries around the world. Today, 26 right now is going to open up. Over 25 countries, I can sit at home with my home-based business and build a business globally around the world in 25 different countries. Are you kidding me? Where can I make money? America, Mexico, Canada, South Korea, Australia, New Zealand, Austria, Belgium, Czech Republic, Denmark, Finland, France, Germany, Hungary, Ireland, Italy, Netherlands, Norway, Poland, Portugal, Spain, Sweden, Switzerland, Japan, UK, Colombia! Are you kidding me? Where was ACN all these years? And then I looked at this unlimited residual income. Say unlimited. That's the very first time in my life I saw something called unlimited. The only other place where I saw unlimited is when I went to the cheap buffet restaurant. It said unlimited buffet. All I was getting fat in body, but I want to make fat in my bank account. It said unlimited residual income. That means there's no cap on your income. That means you decide how much money you want to earn. You write down your paycheck. Isn't that amazing? Unlimited residual income. Then I understood the word residual. The Warren Buffett, the third richest man in the world, said residual income means you're making money while you sleep. And he said if you don't learn to make money while you sleep, you will work until you die. You are not born to pay bills, live in this world and die. You are here to become a legacy. Does this make sense? What is a legacy? Legacy. Let every generation after celebrate you. Services and products. So 90% of what we do are services that people simply cannot live without. When people are switching on the lights, I can get paid. When people are making a mobile phone call, I can get paid. When your ex-girlfriend makes a mobile phone call, you get paid. Come on, it's worth joining ACN just for that. And then came the products. So what that means is ACN can do what any other network marketing company in the world does, but no other network marketing company in the world can do what we do. Now, I love the fact there was a hybrid compensation plan. But what impressed me was none of that. What impressed me is our USP in ACN. What makes ACN the number one in the world this is all very good. This all looks good, but it's the engine of our company. Those are the 4 co-founders. 4 men who many years ago was actually lured by being shown money. But they decided, no, let's build. These men are not money motivated. These men are mission motivated. These men are people who lead by example in the last 25 years. These men did what I did. So when they're talking out of experience and not out of a textbook or an advice. Does this make sense? They went out inviting people. They were the first IBOs. They went and did what I did. So they understand the pains that I would go through. And these men, what I understood were integrity in suits. 4 men who are integrity in suits, whereby my children I will trust in their hands. Does that make sense? That is why when people come and offer me other companies, they say, Liju, the grass is greener on the other side. When I went and had a look, it was AstroTurf. It was fake grass. That is why when people come and show me, listen, Liju, you come on that side, you can get coins, you can make money with coins. I said, my name is not Super Mario, my name is Liju Thomas. And finally, when people kept on coming, I said, listen, I will come and join your company with one condition, that these 4 men will be there to run that company. Then I will be there. Does that make sense? So I looked, I searched, and I found what I'm looking for, the perfect company. You see, ACN is not perfect, but it's better than everything else out there. Does that make sense? And that is when I made a decision to come out of that rat race. You see, in the moment of decision, your destiny is written. Does this make sense? Each and every one of you decided to come into this blessed company. Your destiny has changed. You have no idea where you're sitting right now. You're sitting in the middle of history. You leave this room, God bless you. Okay? You see, when you come into these events, it's like it's like you're walking into a perfume shop. If you like it or not, you're going to come out smelling good. Look to your neighbor on your left and right and say, you smell good. Look to your other neighbor and say, you look good. Now look back to your neighbor and say, I look better. When you come into this environment, you leave this environment, it's like osmosis is going to take place. You will come out being a better human being. Does that make sense? I made a decision to follow ACN. And then reality hit. I had 6 best friends. I looked at the compensation plan. You got 6 big leaders, you're a senior vice president. I said, wow, I got 6 best friends. I've got 6 leaders as friends. There you go, I'm going to be a senior vice president tomorrow. Everyone's going to support me. Everyone's going to help me. I'm going to be rich tomorrow. And this is what happens. I went on Facebook and I said I started a business. When I said I started a job, you know what? There was 264 likes and 74 comments. But when I started a business, 7 likes and 3 comments. Boy, was I mistaken. Say, Liju, you are mistaken. I didn't realize that people would be so against me. My goodness, the amount of, all of a sudden, I went and showed them ACN, and I showed them this amazing industry. I explained them the value of this industry, how big this industry is a multi-billion-dollar industry. And all of these people who knew nothing about industry, they didn't even know how many zeros are there in a billion. By the way, how many zeros are there in a billion? It's good to know. And they are giving me advice of why I should not do ACN. Isn't that crazy? And I understood something. If you want to buy a Lamborghini, don't ask Toyota drivers for the experience. The most cooperative people in my life became the ones that were against me, because I went and invested into a company to change my life, to change the course of my family's life, and I was completely shocked by this understanding. And then let me tell you something today, my friends, as you're sitting over here right now. When you're trying to accomplish your dreams, it's not someone who will come and tell you with a knife or a gun. It's your own friends and family who will tell you it can't be done. When you're trying to accomplish your dreams, it's not someone with a knife or a gun. It's your own friends and family that tell you that it can't be done. I understood the law of association. You see, the law of association is a law. The law of gravity is a law where if I drop this clicker right now, it will hit the floor. Regardless I like the law or I don't like the law. Regardless I agree in the law, if I don't agree in the law, if I drop it, the clicker will hit the floor. The law of association says this: you are going to be the average of the 5 people that you hang around with. If the 5 of your friends are millionaires, you will be the 6th one. If the 5 of your friends are intelligent, you will be the 6th one. If the 5 of your friends are idiots, you will be the 6th one. The law of association says you will have what the 5 of your friends will have. You will have HAVE, you will have their health, you will have their attitude, you will have their values, and you will have their earnings. Does that make sense? So that is what I understood, the law of association. So I had to change my association. The day you change your association, that day you're changing your destiny. Does that make sense? So rather than hanging around with donkeys, I started looking for eagles. And that is when I understood something, that you can't make a donkey a racehorse. A donkey is a donkey. A racehorse is a racehorse. I looked around for eagles, and when you search for eagles, you will find the eagles. Are there any eagles in the room today? When you hang around with eagles, all of a sudden you're not like chickens anymore. You're not trying to flutter anymore. You will have some chickens come inside of you, your team sometimes. They'll flutter for a while and they will leave. Don't worry about them. Hang around with eagles and you will learn to fly. Hang around with chickens and all you will have is tandoori. Once I understood I'm an eagle, I started looking for eagles, and then my blinders were on. I didn't look left, I didn't look right. I just kept searching for eagles like it's a treasure map. And I searched, and I found my 4 eagles that is required for you to be a regional vice president in this company. And then the best moments of your life start to unfold. You see, my friends, life is not measured by the breaths that you take. Life is measured by the moments that take your breath away. Life is not measured by the breaths that you take. Life is measured by the moments that take your breath away. Like the first time your first baby puts their little angelic fingers around your pinky. That is what you're going to remember, your pinky finger for the rest of your life. Does that make sense? When you were a young boy or when you were a young girl and you fell down and you hurt your knees and you were bleeding and you see your mom with open arms and you walk and you run all the way and you know what, you put your hands around her and you put your actual ears on her bosom. That is the moment that you remember for the rest of your life. When you're standing and you know what, you're nervous, and your dad's hand come on your shoulder and says, son, daughter, don't worry, it's going to be okay. Those are the moments you will remember for the rest of your life. And one of the best moments in my life came in when I started to hang around with eagles, when I moved into this blessed company and I walked up on that stage. And when you're going to walk up on that stage one day as the king of the day, as the queen of the day, as regional vice president. Does that make sense? So that's my story. But you know what? The last time I came over here, I said you need to be an eagle. And I said you need to grow in the ACN business. Makes sense. You got to grow in the business first, because as you're a baby, you have to grow through the business all the way to the top. That's what grow meant. And that's what eagles even mean. If you are eagles, here's what you need to understand. That eagle stands for EAGLES. Empower and grow, letting everyone succeed. But G is grow. But today, now we are all grown. Here's the next step, the first letter, that is to empower. So today I've come over here. There's only two kinds of leaders in ACN. Only two kinds of people in ACN. The powerless and the powerful. So today I've come here to teach you. Today I've come here to train you on how you can be powerful in this amazing company called ACN. How you can create the most powerful businesses in the world inside this business. ACN is going to be a multi-billion-dollar company, and the way that they do it is by creating multi-millionaires within this company. But you can't become a multi-millionaire if you are not having power. Does that make sense? So I'm going through what you need to have power in this business. So are you ready? If you're ready, can you say I'm ready? The first thing is the letter P, and P stands for posture. Can you say posture? Posture means having a backbone. How many of you know people that have lost their backbone? They don't even walk up straight, they walk up bent. You look at them, they're always looking down. They don't even know that there is a sky up there. Isn't that amazing? The first thing you need to know, that the first thing for you to have posture in this business, that's when you're going to be powerful. P stands for posture. How do you stand when you stand in front of your prospect? How do you stand when you stand in front of your customer? How do you stand when you stand in front of your team members? Do you stand up straight, or do you stand up bent? You need to have posture. When do you need to have posture? The day you start in ACN as a team trainer. You need to walk like a senior vice president. You need to move like a senior vice president. You need to literally dress like a senior vice president. You need to have posture. Posture means walking straight so people can look at you eye to eye, because the eye is the window of the soul. How many of you agree? Say eye. Posture is so important. And when you have posture, the mindset that you will have, when your spine becomes straight, the mindset you need to have is the posture mindset, which means be, do, have. You need to have a mindset of be, do, have. Can you say be, do, have for me? You got to become a senior vice president in your brain first. Do what the senior vice president does first, then you will have what the senior vice president will have. A lot of people that comes into your business, I call them chickens, they don't have the be, do, have mindset. They have the have, do, be mindset. I will come to an international event once I stop making money in ACN. If somebody has heard that, can you go, mm-hmm? So we are in the right room today. I will go and do something in my business in ACN once I stop making money. Listen, can you ever go to a job and tell your boss, listen, give me the money first, then I'll start coming to your work? Your boss will slap you. This is a business. First, you got to become a senior vice president. Do what a senior vice president would do. Then you will have what it is, the be, do, have mindset. Once you have the be, do, have mindset, that's when you're going to look at yourself in the mirror and see that you are an eagle. Does that make sense? An eagle has a be, do, have mindset. An eagle has a posture. And this posture is from the day that eagle is born. The eagle's mother will look at the eaglet and give it posture. And it will nurture it. And then it will take the eaglet out. And it will drop the eaglet out of its nest and tell the eaglet, there is a sky out there, there is the horizon out there, go out, my little eaglet. And the eaglet says, oh, but mommy, what if I fall? And the mother looks and says, oh, my child, what if you fly? Every day look at the mirror and see yourself as an eagle who empowers and grows, letting everyone succeed. See yourself as the eagle. Who do you see when you wake up? You see, when you see yourself as an eagle, the eagle only looks up. Have you ever seen an eagle looking down unless it's going to catch a prey? The eagle looks up towards the sun. You see, the eagle doesn't have time to look at on the left or the right what everybody else is doing, who my competition is, because the eagle looks at the mirror and understands that I am my own competition. I am the one who I am competing against to be better every single day. You see, what do you see when you look in the mirror? Do you see yourself as a pussycat or do you see yourself as a tiger? When Usain Bolt was asked after winning the title for the world's most fast man, he said, as he was on his knees, they asked him, when you looked up, what did you see? And Usain Bolt said, I saw every day what I was seeing, and I saw myself crossing that line before any other man has ever done in the rest of their life. Does this make sense? You got to visualize every single day as a senior vice president. That's when you're going to have posture. So when you're talking and you're walking and you're speaking with people, hey, how long have you been in ACN? Oh, I've been in ACN for 2 months. Oh man, you look like you've achieved so much. And where is your pin then? Where is your senior vice president? Senior vice president is business. Now, how do you become an overcomer? 3 things that you need to overcome. The first thing that you need to overcome is the biggest person in your entire life, that is you. You are the one who's going to decide if you are going to be a success story or you are going to be a failure. Does this make sense? The problem with a lot of people who come into ACN is that they come after they're adults. Because they come after they're adults, they have a lot of baggage in their brain. So they bring all their old baggage into this blessed company and make a complete mess of it. You see, they're bonded by the chains that hold them back. They're bonded by their previous failures. They're literally bound, and they're not free. So you need to overcome yourself first. What do you see yourself when you look at the mirror? Are you the donkey that's tied to that little chair? Break free! Look at your neighbor on your left and right and say, break free! Overcoming yourself means you're going to break free of all that old baggage. And some people, when they stay in the business for a while, the baggage starts to accumulate and accumulate and accumulate. You got to break free. Say break free. And then understand that every single day it's not easy to control your emotional roller coaster. Let me tell you the story that my grandfather once said. Listen, Liju, here's what it is. Every single day, every single moment inside your brain, there is war that is happening. There's a fight that is happening between 2 wolves. One is the good wolf, the other is the bad wolf. The good wolf and the bad wolf fight every single day. And their fighting is those little voices that you hear every single day. Right now, there's a good wolf and the bad wolf working right now, fighting. So I asked my grandfather, what is the bad wolf and what is the good wolf? He said the good wolf is positive, the bad wolf is negative. The good wolf is encouraging, the bad wolf is discouraging. The good wolf will say good words, the bad wolf will say abusive words. The good wolf is honest, the bad wolf is dishonest. And the good wolf is good, the bad wolf is bad. I asked my granddad, hey granddad, which wolf will win? And he says, the one that you feed the most. What are you feeding yourself? Are you feeding yourself negativity every single day and you're complaining that your life is negative? You're feeding the wrong wolf. Start feeding the good wolf. Listen to good things all the time. So you see, when you start to listen to good things all the time, you'll now start to overcome yourself. It was Lao Tzu who said, the one who masters others is strong, but the one who masters himself is powerful. Does that make sense? You need to master yourself. The first thing you got to overcome is yourself. Then in ACN, you need skill set. You see, in ACN, 80% is mindset. 80% is what you overcome your mindset yourself. The other 20% is your skill set. And you're going to go through the second thing that you got to overcome, and that's what you got to overcome, objections that people will give you when you speak to them about ACN. Now, I've been doing this business for many years, and let me tell you, I've listened to all the objections in the world. And you know what? I've all summed them out into 5 most common objections that you are going to hear. And this is what my experience was when I listened to those objections. So the first objection was this: I don't have the what? You're giving them ACN, you give them this an amazing business, and the first thing that they say is, I don't have the few 500 pounds. I don't have the few $500. Now immediately the bad wolf in my head will come up, and the bad wolf will tell me, prompt me to say this. This is what the bad wolf will go. Bad wolf will say this: hey, you fool! You don't have the money. You didn't have money 2 years ago. You don't have money today. And you will not have money in 2 years' time from today. Because if you change nothing, you expect something. That's what Albert Einstein calls insanity. You fool. You don't have the money. That's why I'm giving you ACN, so you have the money. But that's the bad wolf. You must not be the bad wolf. The good wolf will say, use the magic words feel, felt, and found, and tell a story. You see, stories sell, facts will tell. The good wolf will say, my friend, I know how you feel. Because that's what I felt when I first started. But what I found out was, the reason I don't have the money today is because of the decisions or the lack of decisions I made in the last few years. So let me change that so I'm never going to be in that problem ever again. And I want to tell you the story of Max Knowles, a senior vice president who didn't have the money to start off with. But he understood that where there's a why, there's a way. So he went and found the money, and today he's become financially free. So shall we not do that? Does that make sense? That's what you say when people say, I don't have the money. The next common objection will people say, I don't have the what? The time. And immediately I don't have the time because I have a job, I've got so many projects. The bad wolf will immediately come and say, this is what you got to say. You fool! You have a job. Don't you know job means just home broke, just over broke, journey of the broke, jump out of bed, just obey boss. You fool! Don't you know that the projects that you mean is person relying on just enough cash to survive? You fool! But the good wolf will say, I know how you feel. But because that's what I felt. But what I found out was, in a week there is 168 hours. 24 hours in a day, 168 hours in a week. Let's say you are working for 40 hours a week. Let's take 40 hours out. Let's say you're sleeping for 7 hours a day. So let's take 56 hours out of the week. Let's say you take 5 hours a day just for eating, showering, sleep, doing all the best. So that's 35 hours. Let's take that out of there. What is remaining is 37 hours. What you do with that 37 hours is what will determine if you're going to be a success story in the world or not. Because the most successful people in the world use their time wisely. They use their 37 hours wisely. You see, smart people use their time. Poor people abuse their time. Does that make sense? The advantage you'll have in ACN, like any other business that you wouldn't have, you don't have to give it all up. You can start part-time. Say part-time. So you can use your spare time to build ACN, and that is how most people in this world, in ACN, or the top people, they didn't go full-time. They started part-time, and what they did is what they used their part-time to come into ACN, and today they have financial freedom. The next objection is this: I want to think about it. The bad wolf will say, you fool! Your old thinking has given you your bank account. Doesn't it show you that it is not working? Same old thinking, same old results. The good wolf will say, I know how you feel. Because that is what I felt. But what I found out was, you see, if you want to learn to be successful, read every book in the world, and you'll understand that one common ingredient for success is copy successful people. So when you're coming into this business, you get to think like millionaires. When you start to think like millionaires, what's happening is you're going to become a millionaire. The next objection is, I want to ask my partner. The bad wolf will again come and says, you fool! Are you the man in the house, or do you let your wife to wear the pants? And you tell the woman, listen, when was the last time you asked your husband for anything anyway? The good wolf will say, I know how you feel, because that is how I felt. But what I found out was, you are going to make a decision that will change your family's complete destiny for the rest of your life. Let me tell you the story of the first senior vice president. Was a lady. Her name is Debbie Davis. Her husband was working. She was a housewife. She didn't have much money on her own, but she took ACN. And through the business of ACN, she was able to go into her husband's office and literally take him out of his work. Wouldn't that make you feel amazing when you create financial freedom for you and your family? Does that make sense? And then the final one is that, is this a pyramid scheme? The bad wolf will come and says, are you a bank robber? So why do you say that? Well, you're asking if I do something illegal. I'm asking if you do something illegal. You still think this is a scam? Do you understand what scam means? S-C-A-M? Still confused about money? But the good wolf will come and say, I know how you feel. Because that's what a lot of people feel when they first got started. But here's what we found out was, we are partnered as ACN, the largest direct seller of telecom, energy, and essential services. We are in the world now for over 25 years. We are in the countries of 26 countries. We are partnered with over 150 blue chip companies around the world. You know what I've understood? That these blue chip companies have got legal teams who will look into ACN before they shake their hands with ACN. These blue chip companies have got legal teams who will do their due diligence for that company. They are paid to do due diligence on on ACN. So what that allows us, it gives us confidence that if the big companies around the world, the big blue chip companies have literally done their due diligence on ACN, don't you think that this is a legal company? And do you think me, your friend, would do something illegal? Now, if your friend says yes, that's a problem. So when you overcome these 5 objections, your life will start to change. So the first thing you got to overcome is yourself. The second thing you got to overcome is the actual objections that they put in front of you. And the third thing that you got to overcome is the challenges that's going to come in the business. You know what? Whenever I get somebody to start in the business, when I launch that person, the first thing that I'll tell them is, listen, are you ready to face the challenges? Are you ready to overcome the challenges? And the person will say, what kind of challenges? And I say, listen, I don't know what kind of challenges, but you're buying a business license, which means any business in the world has challenges. If you start a hotel, you will have challenges with the staff. If you start a food company, you'll have challenges with the food. If you start a construction company, you'll have challenges with the actual people who are going to do the bricks and everything like that. So every business has challenges. I don't know what challenges you're going to get through, but are you sure that you can overcome the challenges? Because here's what happens. A lot of people, when they face challenges, this is what they do. They will try and they will fail. They will try, they will fail. They will try, they fail, and then they quit. This is what poor people do. This is what chickens do. This is what a lot of people have done when they came into ACN. They quit because of a few challenges. But here's what leaders do. They will try, they will fail, they will analyze, they will adjust. They will try, they will fail, they'll analyze, they adjust. Now listen, this is what I'm going to teach you, how to overcome every single challenge that comes in your business. You see, I will never quit on you, but you must not quit on me. Does that make sense? So if you are ready to overcome these challenges, you are ready for business with ACN. So are you ready to do business with me? Because that's what you got to do. You got to overcome the challenges. You see, when there's a problem and plan A doesn't work, you got to be the leader who stands up and says, what's my plan B? You see, if plan A doesn't work, you don't have to worry, because there's another 25 letters in the alphabet. So that's why you got to be A, B, C, always be cool. Look to your neighbor and say, always be cool. That's what leaders do. You see, leaders arise in the midst of challenges. Does that make sense? You see, a smooth sea never created a skilled sailor. You see, when everything is going so well, everybody wants leadership, but everything is in chaos. When everything is in disorder, when there's a total catastrophe, that's when the leader stands up. Superman was called Clark Kent only because he was a human being. But when did Superman become Superman? In the midst of a problem, in the midst of the chaos, the man comes out and becomes Superman. If you want to be a success story in this business, yes, let me tell you something. You got to be good at overcoming the challenges that come into your world. Does this make sense? Because you are a person who overcomes challenges. Why do regional vice presidents walk on the stage? Because they overcame more challenges than you have. Does this make sense? You are Superman in ACN. M-A-N means you overcome challenges morning, afternoon, and night. Does that make sense? If you are a superwoman in ACN, W-O-M-A-N, working out morning, afternoon, and night. That is why you're an ACN. Does that make sense? So don't come to me with your challenges. Don't come to me with your complaining customer. Don't come to me with your IBO. You are a leader in this business. You overcome the challenges yourself. You see, you can't hire other people to do your push-ups for you. You're Superman in ACN. You're Batman in ACN. You're Spider-Man in ACN. You are ACN man when you get up above your challenges. Does that make sense?
Alright? See, what happens is this. When something goes wrong, the real leader will stand up strong. When something goes wrong, the real leader will stand up strong. So are you someone who embraces challenges? Because there is opportunity in your chaos. There's opportunity in disorder. Because that is when you literally make yourself as a leader. Because smooth seas never created a skillful sailor. In the midst of everything that goes wrong, when everybody is not supporting you, when everybody is against you, when you feel like quitting, but you still stand up strong, that's when you show the world that you are a real leader. And that's what you should be. Who's a real leader? A real leader seeks not power, but to empower, and stands in the midst of challenges and say, 1,000 will fall beside me, 10,000 on the other side, but I will still stay strong. Because you know what? The real leader stands among chaos, and that is what makes that person an actual leader. You see, we don't grow when things are easy. We will grow when we face challenges. The first two men who looked at Mount Everest, yes, it was Edmund Hillary and Tenzing Norgay. See, Edmund Hillary from New Zealand and Tenzing Norgay from Nepal. They looked at Mount Everest and they saw Mount Everest and they fell the first time. They fell the second time. And they both looked at Mount Everest and said one statement. Listen, Mount Everest. You see, one thing that differs you and I is that you will never grow, but we will grow. And that is how they conquered it in the early 1950s. And that is why you have statues built for them. I was walking down the streets of Rome and I was looking at the statues and I understood something. They never build statues for critics. They never build statues for the haters. They only build statues for the overcomers. So are there any overcomers in the room today? Yeah. Are you really overcomers?
Yep.
Shake the hands on your neighbor on your left and right and say, be an overcomer. So the three things that you overcome is yourself, you overcome the objections, you overcome the challenges. Then comes W, and that is called work ethic. Can you say work ethic? In this business, talent doesn't matter. Timing doesn't matter. You can be the biggest superstar in the world, but if you don't have work ethic, you're not going to succeed in this business, and that is completely period. Work ethic is going to determine your success in ACN. What is it that we do in ACN? It's the most simplest business in the world. You know, we are in phase 1. This is whatever position you are, from team trainer to senior vice president, there's only 4 things that we do. The first thing is personally recruiting people. What is personally recruiting people? Going and telling people there is another way, come and have a look. The second P is personal customers. Get them as a customer, they don't want to do the business. The third P is promoting events. Telling people that eagles are gathering together. So we would like you to come and have a look. And the fourth P is personal development. These are the only 4 things that we do in ACN. It's the most simple business in the world. And that is about being in phase 1. You got to make phase 1 a habit. You see, success is not a result of acts. Success is a result of habits. When you change your habits, your entire life will change. So these are the 4 things that we do every single day. Phase 1. And the next thing is this, that's your phase 1. Now look at this. The strategy of ACN. Follow the system. What is the system? Get everybody into the system of ACN and convert them as executive team trainers. That is it. That is the strategy of the business. You ask any top producer in the world, they are just ETT machines. The strategy of this business is make every person that comes in your team an executive team trainer, and you will become a senior vice president. You don't change the system. SYSTEN. Save yourself serious time, energy, and money. All you got to do, make people ETTs. ETTs, and that requires work. You never stop in this business. The moment you stop, that's the second you will start losing your power in this business. You see, the leaders of our company, the founders of the company, they don't stop. They're still in phase 1. They're still going out there and doing what we should do, and they lead by example. And the only place where success comes before work is in the dictionary. So this is what we do. But understand that the opportunity for success comes dressed as work. You need a sick work ethic. You got to go out there daily. If someone tells me they're not failing in ACN, they're not doing well in ACN, I just say, look, show me your calendar. Show me your calendar. Your calendar will determine your success. Look at my calendar. I am in phase 1. And that is what that makes a difference. What is it you got to do every single day? The size of your audience doesn't matter. All you got to do is keep up the good work and show the plan. Can you say show the plan? Can you say show the plan like you mean it? Which day do you show the plan? Is it Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, or every day? Every day. Not someday, not one day, every single day show the plan. You see, an apple a day keeps the doctor away. If the doctor is beautiful, keep the apple away. That's not what I meant. An apple a day keeps the doctor away. 1 PBR a day keeps your dirty boss away. 2 PBR. Away. 1 PBR a day will keep your dirty boss away. 2 PBRs away and will keep the nasty debt collectors away. 3 PBRs a day and your RVPs on the way. That's how every single day, your work ethic will determine your success in ACN. Even if you become an SVP, don't think that's where you stop. That's when you maximize the compensation plan, and that's where you really start and live life like legends. So P is posture, O is overcomer, W is work ethic, and then E comes enthusiasm. Can you say enthusiasm? The first half of the word, it comes from the Greek word entheos. Entheos means God within. You see, that's why I always say that, in Namaste, in my speech, I bow to the God within you. See, every single person over here, you have God within you. And that is what your enthusiasm is. When people see you, they need to feel you. Can you say feel you? See, people don't come into ACN because of ACN. They come into ACN because of you. You see, if you are not enthusiastic, your team won't be enthusiastic. This is so important. And the last 4 letters of the word, IASN, it simply says, I am sold myself. I am sold myself. I am so motivated. The point is this, the beauty of the word enthusiasm is you need enthusiasm in your business every single day. When people look you or they come near you, they should feel you. You should be like a magnetic force. When I look at somebody and I look at that person and say, hey man, you've lost enthusiasm. See, what happens is, it was Winston Churchill who said this. Success is simply going from failure to failure to failure without losing your enthusiasm. The man who made the light bulb, Thomas Edison, say, 10,000 times he failed. He said, no, I didn't fail 10,000 times. I just found 10,000 ways that a light bulb, would not work. He never loses enthusiasm. You're going to fail in this business. That is normal. FAIL means first attempt in learning. You got to keep learning and learning and learning. Failure is a failure if you don't learn from it. But if you learn from it, you will keep going on and on. See, when you look at people, I can literally in seconds tell if you're going to make it in this business. And some people say, hey, why are you so enthusiastic? You see, it's called intentional enthusiasm. Intentional enthusiasm is what will get people attracted to you in this business, because we've got something better. If you go out on Monday morning or Tuesday morning, you go to work and you open the door. Did anyone when they went to work, as soon as you open the door, did anyone say, hey, he's come to work? Did they do that for you? No. But in ACN, wherever you go, there is enthusiasm. Now, what does enthusiasm mean? Enthusiasm means you've got to fall in love with ACN. How many of you have fallen in love with it? A few of you. Others are lonely. You got to fall in love with ACN. And see, when you fall in love, have you noticed? You will speak to your lover. It doesn't matter if you ate any food. It doesn't matter if you speak on the phone for hours. It doesn't matter, because you're enthusiastic. And that is love that's coming from you. You got to fall in love with ACN. When people see you, they should see that there's a spark around you. You see, I fell in love with ACN. And the day I fell in love with ACN, my life completely changed. You see, you got to have a relationship with ACN. When I look at some people, they've lost their first love. When you lose your first love, your relationship starts to break down. You take the relationship for granted. But when you don't lose that first love, when you keep that love going over and over and over and over again, you start attracting people towards you. Does this make sense? If that makes sense, can you go, Yeah, so I'm in the right room. Then we go for R, the last letter, and that is resolve. What does the word resolve mean? Resolve means a combination of two things. When your why is combined with action. Now, what is your why in ACN? I don't know what your why is, but this is all my whys in ACN. You understand? ACN is a company that will give you all of this and many more. I initially came from money in ACN, but I didn't realize of all the other benefits that you don't realize that will come into your life through this amazing, amazing business in this company. You see, what is your why? So you got to get hold of your why. My why was very simple. My why was my mother and my father. Makes sense. The day I hit RVP was the proudest moment. You know why? Because as a son, I could go to my mother and father and say, from now onwards, never in the rest of your life are you going to work a day in your life, because your son got it covered. Does that make sense? And that is resolve. Yes. Your why should be so strong that it will make you cry. Your why should be so strong that every single day, that's why you're going to be enthusiastic. Every single day, that's how you're going to overcome your objections, overcome yourself, overcome the challenges. All will go down to that 3-letter word called why. And that's the why power. Combine why with action, and now we have resolve. I want to tell you the story of one of the stories that really motivated me, of this gentleman by the name of Karoli. 1938, he was a military gentleman who was from Hungary, and his one why in his life was that he wanted to be the greatest pistol shooter in the world. 1938, he won the national championship of every single pistol tournament in his country. He was the #1 pistol shooter in his own country. And he had one eye, and his one eye was on the prize. His eyes were on that prize that in 1940, when the Olympics come, he doesn't want to be the best pistol shooter for his country. He wanted to be the best pistol shooter in the world. And he practiced, and he practiced, and he practiced to be the best in his country. 1938, when he was put for training in the army grounds, and he took a hand grenade, the hand grenade accidentally burst. It exploded in his own hand. Next thing, he wakes up in hospital. And when he wakes up in hospital, the greatest pistol shooter in Hungary looks at his hand, and he doesn't see a hand anymore. And he doesn't see his hand. His entire world came crushing down. His entire world was complete disaster as he looked. How can you win when you don't have a hand to shoot? 1 month he stayed in the hospital. Everybody sympathized for Cadbury. But then he realized something. You know what? I lost one hand. But you know what? I have another. The day he goes out of hospital, he goes and picks up his pistol, and he starts practicing with his left hand. And he starts practicing, and he starts practicing. One hand might have gone, but I have another. Don't look at what you don't have, appreciate what you do have. You understand? And he starts shooting. 1939, he goes 1 year later, he goes to the national championships in Hungary, and he walks in when everybody is now shooting the championship. And all the other contenders look at him and says, Carolee, how can you come here? That you're so brave. Even after losing your hand, your dreams, you are here. You're here right now to support us. Carolee looked at them and says, I am not here to support you. I am here to compete against you. His left hand, and he shoots. And guess who wins the national tournament? None other than the left-handed shooter who didn't have one hand, but he won with his only hand. And that's what it is. That is what practice will do. But here's what it is. His goal was not, his why was not winning the national tournament. His why was to win the Olympics. So 1940 comes in. He practices. 1940, the Olympics come in. This man is ready to take the Olympic record in the entire world. And the World War comes. And the Olympics is cancelled. He goes down into disaster, he goes down into hurt, he goes down into pain, and he looks down, but then he wakes up again and says, not a problem. 4 years later, the next Olympics is coming. So then he waited for another 4 years, 1944. And 1944, the Olympics come, this one-handed shooter is ready to win the gold. And here's what happens. 1944, the Olympics get cancelled because of war again. He is completely devastated. He's completely destroyed. But then he looks back up again. And he says, don't worry, 4 years later, the next Olympics is going to come. Then comes 1948. This man right now is 38 years of age. When he started 28, now 38. He walks into, and the Olympics is going in. He looks at all the other competition, and they were young. They had perfect eyesight. They had both hands. And here is this 38-year-old man, the oldest contender in pistol shooting. He walks up on that podium because his resolve is strong, and he shoots with his only hand. And that is the year that he picked up his first gold medal and became the greatest shooter in the world. Does this make sense? How is irrelevant? But it doesn't stop there, my friends. Then comes 4 years later, and he is older. But you know what? I did it one time. I hit RVP. Now let's go for SVP. So 4 years later, he goes back again, and he becomes, 4 years later, the very first gentleman in the world who breaks the record to win 2 gold medals in a row with his only hand. Does this make sense? You see, you will find a lot of people in your business, you will find a lot of people who will give you excuses of why ACN will not work for them. One excuse after the other, to the other, to the other. But then you will find the winners. Then you will find the regional vice presidents. Then you will find the senior vice president who could have made the same excuses, but they chose not to. They don't have the disease called excusitis. Because this disease of excusitis is the biggest disease in the world. The excusitis will lead to bronchitis and pocketitis. And all of that. I am surrounded every single day by looking at people who make excuses after excuses after excuses after excuses. You see, do it for the E, the excuses that we'll stop making, that only sound best to the people who make them, and actually are the nails that build a house of failure. When will you stop making excuses, ladies and gentlemen? The day you stop making excuses, that's the day you take control of your destiny. Carolee had enough chances to make enough excuses, but he chose not to. As you're listening to today, to become a powerful leader in ACN, you should take excuses out of the dictionary. Nothing should stop you. Nothing should stop you from achieving what you should achieve in this world, because excuses will kill your business. And then after you take out excuses, what you will find now is you will find results. When I get the next slide, please. If it doesn't work, I'll show the hands. You can clap for the audio team in the meantime, ladies and gentlemen. So here's what I want to let you know. If you are waiting for something to change in your life, if you're waiting for a sign, this is it. This is it. Can you look at your neighbor on your left and right and say, this is it? This is it. Enough excuses have been made. Enough hurdles have been overcome. Many more to come. Enough objections have been heard. Enough reasons have been heard. But this is it. It's time to take control over your life. It's time, because change is calling. And you know what? You might not have a great start in ACN, but that's not a problem. You can start today and have a good ending. Because yesterday is gone. Tomorrow is coming. What you do now is what's going to change your life. If you want to make a difference to your life, the business is simple. Start today. Start making that change today. Because if you look at a diamond, it's simply a piece of charcoal that handles stress extremely well. It's simply a piece of charcoal that had to go through challenges to become that diamond. Each and every one of you are diamonds right now. You see, you are not born in this world just by accident. There's no such thing as accident. You know, people might say that, you know what, if you go to the top in ACN, you're lucky. There's no such thing as luck. L-U-C-K means laboring under correct knowledge. See, you're in the right knowledge in ACN. See, that is why if you keep doing what you're supposed to do, and if you keep doing what you're supposed to do with resolve, here's what has happened, the transformation will happen. And when the transformation happens, what you do today that matters. Everything that happened till now, that's fine. You can erase that from your memory. Learn from those experiences and go out today. You see, the reason I came over here today is not to motivate you. I am not a motivational speaker. I'm here to inspire you. I'm here to tell you that you are people with vision. You are eagles. I'm reminding you of your divine purpose for you being in this world right now. See, when people look at you, they should see that you are purpose in this life. And you want to go to, you see, if you want to go fast, go along. But what is beautiful about ACN, we work together as a team. Does that make sense? There is unity. See, united we stand, divided we fall. So as we're building this right now, there's a few of us, we are entrepreneurs. You see, we are not outside. We are different from people outside. You are the chosen ones to be given this opportunity. So go out there and work together as a team. Because you know what? As you work together as a team, go out to help your team members. ACN will become stronger and stronger and stronger and stronger. And that is what's going to make us the number one in the world. You see, the only way that ACN can become a multi-billion-dollar company is by creating multi-millionaires within the business that work together. Does that make sense? It's easy to divide. It's easy to split, but it's difficult to work together as a team. So as you're working as one unit, people should look at you. And the moment they look at you, they should understand that you are somebody with purpose. You're not here to be mediocre. Does that make sense? You see, when people look at you, they should see a human being with power. Can you say the word power? Power. When people looked at me, they said, they knew what I was going to do. I'm a man with a vision and on a mission that I'm going to go out and design my assignment in this world to be the human being that I was created to be the one that my parents wanted me to be. So you got to have that power and that posture. So go out there and share the good news of ACN to every single one with power. You see, you can grow in ACN, but grow with power, because power will change everything in your business. You see, every single day when I go out, my mindset is I'm going to change your life. If you come within 5 meters next to me, your life is going to get changed. If I go to the coffee shop, good luck, you come. If you even speak one word to me, good luck. Because I'm going to change your life if you like it or not. Does this make sense? I'm here to make a difference. You might think I am mad. Yes, I am mad, because I make a difference daily to people. Every single day. Absolutely. Even the music system works with me. Does this make here and you've got to work on yourself, and you've got to work with peak posture. You've got to be an overcomer. You've got to have work ethic. You've got to be enthusiastic, and you've got to have the resolve to go out there. Every single day, you've got to go out and give the good news of ACN. Can you say the good news of ACN? What does the good news of ACN stands for? GOODNEWS Get out of debt. North, east, west, south. Only from ACN. Another chance now, a complete no-brainer. So go out and